Hi everyone, Mark Harris here from Adventure Enablers. Quick pre-race brief for our Doubt That Strong and tenderfoot races. So today, it's Friday, you should be getting an email with some rules of travel, sample base map, and a link to this video just to go through a few things before you get out to Doubt That for a fun and exciting race weekend. So Sunday, we have two races going on at Doubt That State Park, a strong adventure race that's going to be 8 hours, and a tenderfoot adventure race that's going to be 4 hours long. So thank you to everyone who's coming out, all our participants. Want to thank our sponsors, Good To Go Bar, USWE, Mountain Khakis, and Doubt That State Park. Those guys will help us give the prizes out and make sure this event goes off smoothly. Weather for Sunday looks like it's going to be chilly in the morning, not really getting that high, like mid 50s, low 60s, possible chance of rain as well. So make sure you dress in layers. Don't wear any cotton, that's really bad when it gets wet. Bring a waterproof coat. So on the website that we have for each of the races, there is a mandatory gear list. It's super minimal and it's really just there. It's what you would normally bring anyway to come out and kind of do these types of events. So schedule for Sunday, packet pickup and check-in starts at 6:30. Everything is going to happen, start, finish, transition at the beach area at Doubt That State Park. So I'll be posting a sample map and that actually has a start and finish location on it. So hopefully when you get that map, you'll be able to find that location. If you don't, you're probably going to be in trouble for the rest of the day. Anyway, so check-in will happen for the strong tenderfoot. Tenderfoot, you can come in a little bit later. Your race doesn't start until 10. Strong, your starts at 9. We're going to do a pre-race brief about 15-20 minutes before both events. It's really just going to kind of reiterate some of the stuff that I'm going to go over right now. Cut off for the tenderfoot. You all guys, both family and adventure class, we're going to give you 4 hours out on the course. So cut off for that course is at 2 o'clock. For the strong, your cutoff for the end of the day is going to be 5 p.m. So, and we'll go over what happens if you don't make those times by the end of that race. Then we'll be serving post-race food. We're going to do some sandwich fixings and chips and stuff like that. That'll be served kind of 2 o'clock onwards after the tenderfoot finishes, and we'll have award ceremonies pretty close after the race finishes for both of those for both of the divisions. Parking is going to be right by as you come down and go into the park by the beach area. You're going to see where we're doing check-in in a building. There's a parking lot right there. Everyone should fit in the parking lot. If not, there's overflow at the top of the hill. You will be transitioning out of your cars. There's really no benefit from being in either location, but try and get down towards the bottom of the hill and we'll fill that bottom parking lot up first. We have bathrooms at check-in as well. And there are bathrooms located throughout the state park, so you may come across some of them as you go through the day. When you get there, come and check in. You can leave all your gear at the car. Just come in and get your race packet and we'll go over what you're going to get in the race packet. You will be transitioning out of your car, so you can leave your bikes, gear, clothes, everything you need at your car. When you come to the packet pickup, what we'll give you is an orange bib. Every team member will wear an orange bib. You won't be getting a bike number, so there's no numbers to go on your bikes. We'll give you your rules of travel, maps, we'll give you an e-punch, and if you had a shirt, we'll give you that. And everyone gets one of these super cool Adventure Enabler hats, so that's our swag for the day. For those of you who've not done an adventure race before, the goal is to get as many points as possible following the rules of travel, which I'll go over for each race, in the fastest time possible. The highest number of points wins. If there's a breaker and everyone has the same points, it's the fastest time. You have to follow the rules of travel exactly as they're prescribed as well. We're going to send them out to you in an email today. You don't have to, you can look over them. It gives you an idea of the course. You don't have to bring it with you. We'll print a copy of that out for you. So how do we know where you've been and what you've done? So we use an e-punch system. And what you're really looking for out in the course is these flags that look like this. On every single one of these flags, you will find an e-punch, which looks like this. And in your packet, we give you a dibber, an e-punch looks like this. This is the control. When you find the flag with the control, you take your e-punch, put it in, it beeps, it flashes, and that lets us know when you went there and if you went there. So we know what order you visited stuff. So if you don't follow the rules of travel exactly, we'll know that, and we'll actually deduct points for that. In this particular race, if you get a point out of order, so if you go and get a point for one leg when you weren't supposed to get it, we'll deduct 1 point, and you will not be able to go back and get that point later in the race. So you punch out of order, you just lose 1 point, or whatever the point value is for that particular point. E-punches cost us $70. If you happen to lose it, we will charge you for that. In this race, every time you come back to the transition area, we will download the information from your e-punch. So every time you come start a new leg, we'll download that info, and that's very important that you come and do that, because that lets us know exactly where you are along the course, and we kind of know which leg you finished, what you're going to start. If you happen to get lost or anything like that, we'll know roughly where to come and look for you. So kind of mentioned about mandatory gear. You need a good pair of running shoes, leg clothing. Just go and look at our webpage. It lists all the mandatory gear that you're going to be bringing. One of the optional pieces is a boat. We have boats there for everyone to use, but if you want to bring your own kayak or canoe, feel free to do so. Even if you're a two-person team and you want to bring 2 kayaks, feel free to do that. You're going to have to stay together on the paddle, but if you want to bring your own boats, you can. We have a limited number of boats, and you're going to be able to do the paddle section whenever you want through the race, and that'll kind of spread out when people are using boats. But if you want to bring your own boat, that would be great. We do have water located at the start and finish area, and there's some campgrounds and stuff along the way if you want to get water along the way. So kind of strategy for the race. I think both courses are probably clearable depending on the weather, but you really want to be able to look at how much you can do in each leg before you go to the next one, and how many points you think you can clear in each leg. Once you've completed one leg, whether you've collected all the points in it or not, you are not allowed to return to it at a later time. So you may want to front load how many you're getting at the front. You don't want to get to a point where you've finished 2 hours too early and you've still got points that you could have collected on the earlier legs. So really kind of judge how many points you can get in each particular leg and kind of guess that out. All the points are optional, except you must get at least 1 point from each leg. For the tenderfoot guys, we'll go over this. You don't have to get a point on the last leg. If you do not get at least 1 point off of each leg, you won't be classified. Basically, or you become unranked. And also importantly, every team member must stay within 100 feet of each other, and no GPS allowed. Okay. Safety, there's some pretty technical trails out at Doubt That State Park, so if your biking's not so strong, just use your best judgment, get off and push if you have to. There's some rocky areas that you may have to push through anyway. There's lots of climbing, but also lots of great descent, so we ask that you please ride within your capabilities. The paddle section and the trekking section is very straightforward, nothing too technical about them. It's actually one location that we have very limited cell service. So you do get some cell service at the high points, and we are asking everyone to carry cell phones. But even at our main TA, we do not have cell service. We have a landline in case we have an emergency. So please keep that in mind. Watch out for, you're kind of all looking out for each other on the course. So you'll see lots of other racers out there. So if someone needs assistance, please stop and help them. Make sure you're eating, and make sure you're hydrating as well. Even though it's going to be chilly, you'll be sweating and you'll be losing water, so make sure you drink. Most of our races that we see people run into issues with is because they have not eaten or drunk enough through the entire race. The course is open to other users, so there's other bikers, horses, other stuff like that out on the course. Please use proper trail etiquette. And there's a road that actually runs through the middle of the state park, and it's kind of unique. It's not a road that kind of ends within the park. It actually is a road that goes all the way through and continues on out the other side. So when you're on the road, please, if you're trekking, go in single file. If you're riding your bikes, go in single file. Follow all traffic laws. So that's really, really important. It's a semi-busy road for what we usually get for a state park. So please watch out for that. Okay, what I'm going to really kind of quickly do is pull up the rules of travel for each race and kind of go over them briefly, and we'll start off with the strong. So the course for the strong, what's going to happen is you're going to start with a trekking leg, and we highlight here really the distance for each leg and the elevation gain or loss, and you will notice there is a lot of elevation gain and loss throughout the park. So I think throughout the whole strong race is about 8,000 feet of elevation gain and loss in an 8-hour race. That's pretty extreme. So first leg will be trekking for the strong, collecting 5 points. Most of the points are worth 1 point. There are a couple of points on the course worth 2 points, and they will all be noted on your map. So make sure you check that out too. The second leg is a bike leg. These points for this leg must be collected in order. You don't have to get all of them. So say for example, you only want to collect points 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? You must collect them in and out order, 1, 2, 3, and then 6. You can drop 4 and 5, but they all must be collected in order. And once again, 1 point from each leg must be collected. Leg 3, back to trek again, collecting some points there. Any order for that leg. Leg 4, back on the bike. Once again, those points for leg 4, really the biking legs, must be collected in order. And the reason we're doing that is to kind of make sure the flow of the race goes correctly and people aren't heading into opposite directions on downhills, on trails and stuff like that. The paddle leg you can complete at any time in the race. So if we say go, you run over and get a boat, you can go ahead and do the paddle. It must be completed before the end of the race, but between any of the other legs, you can complete the paddle leg. We also have 3 challenges that will be located in the beach area, and they can be completed at any time, and they're optional, but have a look at, I think each challenge is worth 2 points, so it's really worthwhile doing. Our general rules are listed at the bottom of the rules of travel. When you come pick up your packet, make sure you read everything there, and they really outline what's going on with your race. So that's the strong race. For the tenderfoot, kind of a similar flow, just not as many legs, and there's not as many points in each of the legs. Blue leg, which is our paddle leg, that once again can be completed at any time during the race. The rest of the legs must be completed in order. So leg you're going to be doing is a bike leg, the red leg, 5 points collected on that. The orange leg is a trekking leg, 9 points on that one. And then the optional last bike leg, you do not need to go and do that one if you don't want to. You can make that decision when you get the maps, or see how you're doing on time at the end of the race. And that one must be completed last unless you want to come back and do the paddle. So once again, the paddle can be done at any point. Challenges are located in the beach area, actually going to be the same challenges as strong. And once again, we have our general rules of travel located at the bottom there. This is a picture of the map that you'll be getting. The strong racers will be getting a 1 to 24,000 map, which looks like this, which shows all the trails in the park. They will also be getting a 1 to 12,000 scale map, which looks like this. This map is actually also the map that the tenderfoot guys are going to get. So that gives you a good idea, and you'll have copies of them in your email, a link to them to have a look at and get an idea of the type of maps you'll be looking at. As I mentioned, we don't have a lot of communication out in the park, so we are actually heading out to the park tomorrow morning, and we'll be setting up so that by the time you're reading this, we probably won't have any cell service. Margot actually will be around for a little bit on Saturday. If you do have specific questions, please post them up to Facebook or shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you and answer them as best we can. If not, we're really looking forward to seeing you guys Sunday morning. We're super excited about doing this race at Doubt That. It's a great remote park, some amazing biking and trekking, and some really fun terrain that we've got planned for you guys. We're really Looking forward to seeing you out there. Get there safely, and we'll see you guys all on Sunday.